Hello everyone. In the last session, we have seen the basics of Vagrant. We have seen how to create a virtual machine using Vagrant commands like Vagrant init, Vagrant up, Vagrant SSH. We also have seen how to load a box using Vagrant box. In this session, we'll see how to configure Vagrant machine using Vagrant file. So the features like port forwarding and synced files will be shown in this session. In the next session, we'll see how to provision a virtual machine using some automated scripts. We'll also see some network configurations like how to assign a static IP and how to establish communication between two machines, etc. in the next session. So this is an example one folder. So here I'll create a Vagrant file. So Vagrant file uses Ruby programming language. So basically we need to write some Ruby blocks. We do not need to learn much about Ruby, but the only thing we need to know is how to write a Ruby block. So there are basically two objects we will use generally, like Vagrant configure and Vagrant configure.vm. Configure. So this is the version of this configuration is 2. So this is the latest version. So we'll use the latest one. So we need to mention 2 here. So we need to provide some name to this block. So I'm giving like config. So first thing we need to specify is what is the provider we are using. So we are using VirtualBox as our provider. So config.vm.provider. So here we have to specify VirtualBox. So once we declare our provider as VirtualBox, the next thing we need to define a VM. So config.vm.define. So give some name of this VM. Like I'm giving CentOS because I will try to create a CentOS machine. So I'll give some name to this block. I'm giving like CentOS. So now we have to use this CentOS one to configure this VM. CentOS 1.vm. Box. We need to specify box which box we are going to use for creating the VM. So I'm specifying like CentOS. So this is the box name. And we can also specify other things like network and port configurations and all. So as of now, so let us also specify the host name of this machine. CentOS 1.em.host. So this should be we can write, we can give any host name. So I'm giving like CentOS server 1. So I'm closing this block. So this is the basic Vagrant file we'll use for creating a virtual machine. So let's save it and start the machine. So I'm starting a command window, the example one folder. So here our Vagrant file is there. So we can make this VM up using Vagrant up. Showing bringing machines into a VirtualBox provider. So whatever we configured, it is using the provider, and it is importing the base box into a server. So I have already have the box CentOS 7 in my machine. That's why it is directly importing. If it is not there, it will try to download from cloud, Vagrant cloud, and it will import that base box after downloading. It is setting the name of the VM with the folder name and the CentOS whatever we have configured in our Vagrant file. And it is also preparing the network interfaces for this configuration. Later, it is trying to map the port. So 22 in guest machine is mapped to 2222 in the host machine. After that, it is trying to boot the VM. Now it is setting the host name. In addition to creating the machine, it also shares our folder in the host machine with /vagrant on point in the guest machine. So the basic sharing also it will do. If we want to share our custom folders, then we have to define using synced folders. Okay, that we'll see in this video. So now the machine is ready. We'll see whether the box is created in a VirtualBox. So if you see, we did not create any machine in VirtualBox. We have created using Vagrant. Right? So a machine is created. We can check the network configurations and all. If you click on network, by default, it uses the default network. Okay? The storage section, we can verify whether the disk image is imported. So the image type will be like VMDK, virtual machine disk file. Okay? So this disk file will be used for booting the machine. So I'm closing this. The machine is ready. We can check the status of the machine using Vagrant status. So a machine is ready, like it's CentOS machine and it is running. Okay. So VirtualBox is the provider. So we can SSH to this machine using Vagrant SSH. So Vagrant SSH the machine name. Now we are able to connect to the machine. So let's try to check the host. So this is CentOS server 1, which is specified in our configuration file. We can also check the CentOS machine version, the Linux version. The Linux version is 7.8 CentOS Linux release. So now let us try to install some other softwares like the Apache HTTP server. So let me install that. Sudo yum install HTTP. Now the Apache HTTP server is installed. So let's start it. So system cpm start HTTP. So now we can check the status as well. So now the Apache HTTP server is up and running. So we can do one more thing. We can enable this HTTPD so that whenever this machine is rebooted, automatically this server will be up and running. Sudo system ctl enable HTTP. So now we have enabled so that it will be up and running whenever machine is rebooted automatically. We do not need to restart this HTTP server annually. So let us try to access this page, the welcome page of this HTTP server. So now we are able to see the page of this website. So now we are able to access this page in this server. But if you want to access the same page in the host machine, so we have to use the port forwarding feature. So let us see how to use the port forwarding feature. I have already opened the documentation page for forwarded ports. If you see here, there is a block, configuration block. In this block, it was written like config.vm.network forwarded port. This is guest and this is host. So this is the guest port and this is the host port. We can directly copy this and paste it in our Vagrant file. So instead of config, we will use our CentOS. CentOS1.vm.network forwarded port and guest. We are also running our HTTPD server with port 80. So we will not change this guest port. In the host port, we can use the same port like 8080, or we can use some other port like 4567. So now let's save it. So after saving this, we need to reload this configuration. So let me exit out of this machine and I will give Vagrant reload. It will do the graceful shutdown of the VM and it will take the changed configuration file and it will reboot the machine. We can see here that our port 80 on the guest machine is mapped to 4567 on the host machine. Once the machine is rebooted, we will try to access HTTPD server on this port. Now our machine is rebooted. Let's try to check this page in our. I will give my machine name and it will be port number is like 4567. Now I am able to access my home page or index page in the host machine. Okay. So this is the way this port forwarding feature will work in Vagrant. So now let's go to the next feature, like how to share the folders in the host machine to a particular mount point inside our guest machine. So before that, so let me create a source folder here. I will create some test source folder in my host machine. So this is the test source folder inside the home machine. So this will be mounted on the target machine. So I will also create some text file, test.txt. So right. Okay. So now we'll try to mount this test source folder inside our guest machine. To share a folder or to share files from the host machine, the VirtualBox guest machines, the VirtualBox guest editions needs to be installed. So that is the prerequisite for this. So let us try to install. So how we install VirtualBox guest editions using Vagrant? So we have to install a plugin. So I have already copied the installation instruction here. Let me copy and paste here. So the command is like Vagrant plugin install Vagrant VBGuest. VBGuest means VirtualBox guest editions actually. So we are installing with plugin version 0.21. The plugin is installed. So now we have to change our Vagrant configuration file to have this feature. So let's go to the documentation again. Open this synced folders link inside our Vagrant documentation. So click on this basic uses. There actually in this Vagrant configuration block again there is one statement for synced folder. So let's copy this and paste it in our Vagrant file. So let me change it to CentOS. So here CentOS1.vm.synced folder. So this is the source folder. Our source folder is test SRC. Okay. So here we'll mount the contents of this test SRC into the target. So we can specify any mount point here. So let me put like testing. Okay. The contents of test SRC folder will be mounted on testing directly inside our test machine. So let's save this. Again, we need to reload our machine. Vagrant reload is complete. So during this process, it also installs the VirtualBox guest editions, and it has mounted our source folder on testing mount point inside the guest machine. Okay. So now our machine is ready. We can check the status again. So the machine is up and running. Let's connect to the machine. Now we are trying to connect to the machine using Vagrant SSH CentOS. We have connected. Let's verify whether the files are shared to the guest machine. Our mount point in the guest machine is /testing, so I'm inside the directory. Now we are able to see the test.txt which is shared. You can also create another file here. This file should be there in our host machine as well. Now we see two files are there. So this is the way we will share the folders or files from the source directory in the host machine to the target directory in the guest machine. In this session, we have seen how to configure a Vagrant file and how to create a VM. We have created the VM using our Vagrant file configuration, and we have created like HTTPD server in that machine, and we have exposed that HTTPD server to outside to the host machine using port forwarding feature. We also have created some folders and files inside our host machine, and we shared those folders and files to the test machine using synced folders. Actually, this is synced folders. So see how to provision a machine automatically using some provisioning scripts in the next session. And also we'll see how to create multiple machines and how to attach static IP addresses to the machines in the next session. Thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, please like and subscribe.